Today I have some new information on Phase 4 of the stimulus bill, which includes the Emergency Money for the People Act. I have other information on a new stimulus bill to delay mortgage payments and rent payments, along with a new IRS deadline that you need to know about in case you need to claim your dependents and you haven't filed taxes recently, and some other information too. So we're going to get right into it. Please leave a like, that really does help out the channel and gets this to more people. First of all, the interim bill that we all expected to be finishing soon has not been finished yet. It would provide more money to small business loans, to those programs that were set in place a while ago for the PPP, along with the EIDL and some other ways to get small businesses money, along with states and other local governments. That still hasn't come yet, but there have been reports that that is finishing up soon. They're very close. Pelosi's also said that they're discussing the Phase 4 of the stimulus, which I'm going to talk about later, but includes paychecks to Americans along with other small businesses. But before that, we're going to get into something else. The IRS has put some timeline on when some people have to update their dependent information on the IRS website. So they had said previously that folks that don't have to file a tax return will automatically receive their $1,200 stimulus payment. But just today, they've come out and said that people that get Social Security income, railroad benefits, or VA benefits that don't already file a tax return or haven't needed to will have to input their dependent information by Wednesday, April 22 at noon to get those extra $500 payments for each dependent. Now, this is a very quick timeline since some people probably won't hear about it for a day or two. So if you know anyone that gets this kind of income that doesn't usually have to file tax returns, definitely spread this video to them, tell them about it, and get that information out there. This is being called the plus $500 push from the IRS. And again, you need to do it in the next 2 days. Otherwise, I don't know exactly what happens. They didn't really spell it out in the articles I've read, but either you'll have to wait or maybe you just won't get the extra $500 per dependent. So I would definitely make sure to try to get that done here in the next day or so, because you know that there are going to be a lot of people going on that website. So try to go maybe at an off-peak time, so go late at night or something, so it will hopefully work on the website. Otherwise, if your browser doesn't work, try a different browser and just keep on working at it. Try not to get too frustrated, because I'm sure lots of people will be adding their dependents over the next 2 days. In other news, the $2,000 per month bill has gotten a lot of attention over the last few days since it was presented last week. But there's also been a new stimulus bill that was presented last Friday that would eliminate all rent and mortgage payments from back when the nation declared a state of emergency, which was March 13, all the way through the end of the state of emergency. After 90 days, state of emergencies naturally expire, but we could declare another state of emergency and push that back further. So this bill says that no debt is to be accrued on mortgage payments for anyone that holds a mortgage, and there won't be any rent that is due from the tenants. So this would be very nice as a stimulus, but it's got some holes in it. So they did say that this wouldn't report to the credit bureaus, your credit wouldn't be diminished. I know when a lot of people did the forbearance, it still affected their credit scores. They're saying that this bill wouldn't have that effect, that negative effect on your credit score. The holes I see in this are, there's still a lot of issues and a lot of expense that comes up that aren't necessarily related just to the mortgage. So let's say you're a landlord that owns a property and your tenants pay you $1,000 a month. The mortgage payment is only $500 a month or so, but maybe you need $300 or $400 for long-term expenses, for utilities, for maintenance, and for vacancies and stuff like that. Well, if you're not getting your $1,000 rent from your tenants, then how are you going to pay for those other $300 or $400 worth of expenses? So a lot of people might have issues with that. Otherwise, if you're someone that owns a house outright, it's the same thing where you still have expenses and no one's paying you any money. So I'm not sure how that would really work, thinking at a macro scale, how many people would appreciate that. Now, if you haven't heard about the $2,000 a month stimulus, that is called the Emergency Money for the People Act. In case you don't know what it is, that would include direct payments to Americans of $2,000 a month for 6 months guaranteed, and then depending on unemployment numbers, it might be another 6 months after that. This is used to stimulate the economy, decrease defaults on loans, increase spending, and the eligibility requirements are a lot less strict than in the last stimulus package. So in the last stimulus check, a lot of dependents, a lot of people on disability didn't really get to take advantage of the stimulus. However, with this act, the eligibility would be individuals over 16 years of age. They can be college students, high school students, anything like that, as long as they're 16 plus. They have to earn less than $130,000 annually to get the full amount, and $260,000 or less for a married couple. Then you would also get an additional $500 per child, up to 3 children, and those would extend to anyone that has no earnings or unemployed. So I don't think this will get passed, and the reason is mainly this is a lot of money. This is more money than most people make in a year, and let's go through this. The average family size in America is 3.14 people. So over a 12-month term of this, the average family would get about $55,000 in payments. Now, after taxes, the average family in America only makes about $53,000. So we would be making more money if you weren't making any income besides these direct payments than you would if you worked a full year. So I don't think that's very likely to happen. Now, if you also consider if someone's on unemployment, let's say, and they get paid maybe even more now that they're on unemployment, and then you add $2,000 a month on top of that, that's a lot of money. You would have people making $50,000, $60,000 just themselves from being unemployed, maybe even more. So I don't think that's very likely to happen. I've said that before in some of my other videos. I could see a bill though that pays a smaller amount or pays a slightly larger amount than the $1,200 we already got, just a one-time payment. But most likely I think it will be more like $500 to $1,000 for maybe 3 months or so, just to get people the food that they need and be able to help pay rent a little bit. But I don't think the government really is hoping to fund everyone's lifestyle while this is going on. They're more just trying to pay for the necessities. So I think that would make more sense. Now, a lot of people have been discussing, and people in my videos, even in the comments, have been discussing how they think there will be severe inflation from everything that's going on right now. And I want to bring that up because I've actually seen some interesting research that shows there's actually been some deflation over the month of March. So this is the largest amount of deflation in years that we've seen in 1 month, and the deflation was negative 0.4%. So the consumer price index actually fell by almost 0.5% over that month, which is a lot. Now, this is a lot scarier than inflation. A lot of people think, oh, deflation's nice because all the money that we have, it will grow to be more over time because things cost less over time. But long term, that's not a good thing because people naturally then hold on to money and they have a scarcity mindset. The economy doesn't do well because everyone thinks, okay, if I can hold on to my $10 or $100, it'll be worth more tomorrow, so I'm not going to go buy a new iPhone. I'm not going to go buy new clothes. I'm not going to buy food as much as I need to. I'm just going to hold on to as much money as possible and then hoard it as long as possible, which, if you look over history, has been an indicator of really rough economic times, and that's not really something that we want. So I will link that article down below, but it's pretty interesting. Read through that if you like. But, you know, hopefully we do get some kind of stimulus. Hopefully now that they're closing on the interim bill, that they will focus on phase 4 and be able to tell us more information on what's likely, what's not likely. We still don't have a lot more information on that phase 4 bill, but there are more different stimulus packages that are being brought up and talked about, so it's kind of interesting to see how people are thinking. I will give you update videos every so often when I think there's something worth updating, But if you like this stuff, please leave a like. It does help out the channel. Please comment below what you're gonna do with your stimulus money. A lot of people are getting it, so what are you gonna do? And I will see you in the next video. I appreciate it.